What's up, interweb? RhyQuinn here, and welcome to my team analysis video for week 6 of the GPC Season 5, and this week we are playing Gareth and the Crawthorne Crabhammers, and I am not looking forward to this game whatsoever. We got pretty tramps last week against Shardy and the Bayern Munich, but we're looking to bounce back with a win this week, and hopefully, go higher up in the standings this week. But it's not going to be easy because my opponent's team is really, really scary. Links are going to be down below in the description to my opponents, so make sure to go check those out. But let's get right into the teams that we could potentially bring. So my team, the Queen's Park Rangers for this game, I could potentially bring Kieran Black, Gengar, Vaporeon, Mega Pidgeot, Hitmontop, Ferrothorn, Thunderous Incarnate, Uxie, and Coughing. And my opponent, Gareth, can potentially bring Mega Latias, Azumarill, Skarmory, Nidoqueen, Rotom Cut, Durant, Umbreon, Delphox, Primeape, Rampardos, and Sandshrew. So I'm not the only one who has a Gen 1 first stage evolution Pokemon. Good stuff. But Mega Latias, oh my Jesus, can it not exist at all? Please? That'd be great. And then you just have the likes of Azumarill and Nidoqueen and Skarmory and Rotom Cut, and something just fell over. It's fine, whatever. And then there's like really spooky offense as well in Durant and Delphox. The amount of bulk in Mega Latias, Skarmory, Umbreon is actually disgusting, combined with the likes of potentially Wish passing into a Nidoqueen. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I knew it was going to be quite difficult to take down the team this week, but let's get right into the team that I have elected to bring to this game. So, first one on the team is Dastardly, the Mega Pidgeot. Obviously holding the Pidgeot type, big pecs before it Megas no guard once it does, with Hurricane, Heatwave, Roost, and Work Up, 48 in HP, max special attack, and 208 in speed with a timid nature. Now, this Mega Pidgeot does quite a lot of things. It does really nice damage to a lot of the team. I can spam Hurricane over pretty much everything, and the things I can't spam Hurricane over, I can Heatwave. So, for example, the Skarmory, that's pretty much it. To a physically defensive Umbreon, I still don't 2-hit KO it because that's gross. Same with Mega Latias, I still can't 2-hit KO that even if it's physically defensive because ew. But I can 2-shot or OHKO everything else. With the combination of Hurricane and Heatwave. And the reason I have Work Up is because I can potentially 2-shot those mons, the Umbreon and the Mega Latias. If they're physically defensive, I get +1. I can 2-shot them, and that will be really, really nice for me. Also allows me to OHKO a lot of the other mons that I can only just 2-hit KO for example, the Delphox, Rotom Cut if it's not, Assault Vest or anything like that. Nidoqueen potentially as well, so yeah, there's quite a lot of things that Mega Pidgeot can do. I do outspeed the whole team. Fastest potential thing on my opponent's side is that Mega Latias. It plays 110 speed, so I outspeed all non-Scarfers. I can roost up on basically anything. Well, I can roost off before they attack me against basically anything, and then I can Hurricane and Heatwave over the entire team. That's basically what Mega Pidgeot does. Pretty standard stuff. Moving on to the next mod on the team, we have No Way Jose, the Hitmontop, holding the Fist Plate with Technician, Close Combat, Mach Punch, Sucker Punch, and Earthquake. It's not loading the image right now. I think my internet has died. It has. That's a bit unfortunate. Anyway, this guy has 84 in HP, max attack, Adamant, and 172 in speed. Close Combat, Mach Punch, Sucker Punch, EQ. I basically needed offensive Hitmontop to take down Umbreon. That's it. That's all I wanted Hitmontop for, is to take down Umbreon. And I knew I wanted to obviously bring Close Combat because I'd need it to potentially 2-shot the Umbreon, but then I looked into it more and I was like, actually, a genuinely offensive Hitmontop actually does quite a lot as well. Being able to 2-shot the vast majority of the team of my opponent's squad. The only things I can't 2-shot potentially, I think, are Mega Latias and Azumarill. I think that's it. I can 2-shot a specially defensive Skarmory, not physically defensive, with Close Combat. And the speed investment that I have, I believe, is enough speed to outspeed a max speed Jolly Azumarill, I want to say, because then it's reliant on Aqua Jet to hit me and not Play Rough, and I can get off a hit before I take it out. And if it's like a max HP Azumarill, I can still do 30 to 36% to it, so if it's been worn down, then maybe I can take it out before it, gets a chance to get off a Play Rough against me. That'd be nice. And yeah, it's Technitop, not Intimidate. Intimidate would have been really nice for things like Azumarill, Durant, and Rampardos, but not Primate because Defiant. That's why I was a bit hesitant about Intimidate. And Technician Mach Punch actually does quite a lot, allowing me to potentially one-shot the Rampardos. It allows me to get off a lot of nice damage against things that are quicker than me. If, you know, I'm sacking Hitmontop, I can get off a Technician Mach Punch. Fist Plate boosted Technician Mach Punch against something before it dies. That's pretty damn decent. Sucker Punch allows me to get off some really nice damage against the Mega Latias before I die. EQ hitting the likes of the Nidoqueen and the Delphox. Also Sucker Punch hitting the Delphox too for really nice damage. So overall, it's just I thought it was a pretty nice bring. He's got a pretty decent speed tier for his squad, because a lot of the things that are around the same speed might not run that much speed investment. If it brings like a bulky Rotom, a bulky Nidoqueen, bulky Skarmory of course, Umbreon, Rampardos, I should be outspeeding pretty much all of them. Unless it's like a max speed Jolly Rampardos, I'll be outspeeding it, and regardless if it outspeeds me, I can Mach Punch it and one-shot it, potentially. So yeah, that's pretty decent. Anyway, that is No Way Jose, the Hitmontop. Next one on the team is Spook, the Gengar, holding the choice specs, with Shadow Ball, Trick, Destiny Bond, and Toxic. Max Special Attack, Max Speed, Timid. Reason I got that is to potentially speed tie with the Mega Latias, also guarantees me to outspeed the Durant, even if it's Max Speed Jolly, by 1 point. That's why I've got Max Speed. I have one offensive move with choice specs, and that's Shadow Ball, because it does a lot. It does things. Because the only thing that takes a Shadow Ball too well on my opponent's side is Umbreon. And I could have packed Focus Blast. I didn't feel it was worth it. 1, I don't want to be locked into Focus Blast. 2, I'm probably going to miss anyway, knowing me. And 3, it just doesn't do quite enough damage, honestly. Even though it's specs, if it's like a specially defensive Umbreon, it's still only a chance to 2-hit KO, which is ridiculous. So I didn't really feel it was worth it. But I've got Trick, so I can trick my specs onto that Umbreon, because it's probably his best switch-in to Gengar, is his Umbreon, and if I see he does that, then the next time Gengar comes in, I know the Umbreon's coming in, I can trick it as specs, and I'll be very, very happy. I also have Destiny Bond, in case, you know, like I said, I can outspeed everything on his team. If that Mega Latias isn't max speed, which I'm fully expecting, because Mega Latias is bulk, I'm expecting bulk investment, not speed investment. If he does bring, you know, not a max speed Mega Latias, I can outspeed it, get off a Destiny Bond, and then, you know, if Mega Latias wants to kill me with a Psychic or whatever, then I can take down that with me. I also have Toxic, to Toxic the Umbreon. If it's already got a Specs, and I can Toxic it, obviously Synchronize will not poison me back, and I can start wearing it down, and I don't know if he's going to want to be Specsed into Heal Bell if he has it. So it just forces around switches and stuff like that. Also just Toxic in a lot of things would be quite nice. I felt like Toxic was more beneficial than Will-O-Wisp. Like, it would be nice to burn things like the Azumarill and the Durant Primate Rampardos, but I felt like Toxic was more beneficial for things that I would struggle to take down. For example, the Mega Latias, I can still wear down the Azumarill, the Rotom, the Umbreon, like I've been saying, Delphox, Primate, Rampardos, all of those guys, in Sandshrew, not discounting Sandshrew, I can still, you know, wear all those guys down respectively with Toxic, and though it might be nice to spread burns around, I felt like Toxic was a better bring overall, because I'd want to, you know, have racking damage on Mega Latias as opposed to a burn, basically, and the Umbreon, like I've been saying. But that is Spook the Gengar. Yes, I know I've been disconnected. Shut up, showdown. Right, next one on the team is Incarnate, the Thunderous Incarnate, holding the Expert Belt with Crunch, Heal Block, Thunder Punch, and U-Turn. Max Attack, Max Speed Jolly, with 4 in Defense. So, physically offensive Thunderous with Heal Block. Thunderous outspeeds everything on his team guaranteed, which is why I'm bringing Max Speed Jolly, because if he brings a Max Speed Mega Latias, I still outspeed that by 1 point. And I have Defiant, because if he... It's not necessarily for anything in particular, but if, for whatever reason, he gets, like, I don't know, gets a special defense drop off a move, or he gets a special attack drop off something, then I get to +2 attack, and I'm looking pretty damn decent, because like I said, I outspeed everything, and I can do a lot of damage if I'm at +2. I have Crunch for the Mega Latias because I didn't want my only ways to try and take down Mega Latias to be special, because if he brings like a Calm Mind Mega Latias, once it starts setting up, I can't touch it. I didn't just want it to be, you know, Shadow Ball and Gengar, because if it starts setting up Calm Minds, that's not doing enough, even specs, and then, you know, Mega Latias just balls me out basically unless I crit it, and I don't want to be relying on that. So I've got Crunch. Although, even though, if it's like a specially defensive Mega Latias, like just like max HP, it's still only a chance to 2-hit KO with a max attack crunch, expert belt crunch from a Thunderous. Like, Mega Latias, you actually need to calm down. Please, it is ridiculous how well you can take hits. But then I have U-turn and heal block. U-turn allows me to get some initiative, of course, allowing me to hit the Mega Latias super effectively and things like that, as well as the Rotom. Because Rotom's going to be a pretty, decent switch into Thunderous. Obviously taking the electric attacks that it might be expecting. Might switch it in, I can U-turn on that, which is nice. And then I have Heal Block. Heal Block allows me to stop the Mega Latias from roosting. Yay. Allows me to stop the Skarmory from roosting. Yay. Allows me to stop the Umbreon from wishing. Yay. All great things that I really want to do. I really want to stop all those guys doing all those things. That'd be great. So, yeah, I really thought Heal Block was a good bring this week, because the main issue with my team taking down my opponent's team is that most of my mons are going to be doing less than 50%. Excuse me. A lot of my mons are going to be doing less than 50% to my opponent's team. And if I can prevent them from healing, then it just means I can wear them down gradually. That means if I can get a Toxic off a Mega Latias and then get a Heal Block off, it can't roost off the damage. The Toxic gets worn up quickly. I can crunch it down and, it can't roost on me, basically. Or, it can't roost up on my Shadow Balls from Gengar. It can't roost up on my Hurricanes from Mega Pidgeot. Things like that. The Umbreon, I don't want it wishing around into his team because his team is rather bulky. I don't want it wishing around to everything, so if I can Heal Block it, prevent wishes up, I'll be really happy with that, and then I can U-turn out, get some initiative, and I'll be looking pretty damn decent. So yeah, that is what Heal Block on the Thunderous Incarnate is for, because I felt like it was just a good thing to bring against the likes of Mega Latias, Skarmory, and Umbreon. Just, ew! I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But anyway, that is Incarnate, the Thunderous Incarnate. Last one on the team. Also, I brought Thunder Punch over Wild Charge because I didn't want to be getting worn down that much. That's why I have Expert Belt and not Life Orb. Because I didn't want to be like in range from Aqua Jet from Azumarill, for example. So yeah, that is Thunderous Incarnate. I figured now that I have 4 offensive mons, it's probably time for some bulk. So the first one on the team, we've got Finley the Vaporeon, holding the leftovers with Water Absorb, Scald, Haze, Wish, and Ice Beam. Max HP, 192 in defense and 64 in speed, with a timid nature. Now, this Vaporeon, all in all, the reason I have 64 in speed with a jolly nature is because it allows me to outspeed an adamant Azumarill, which I felt like was quite important. It means that obviously he can't Aqua Jet me, and it means I can get off a move before it attacks me with a Play Rough if he's adamant, which is quite a common thing to run on Azumarill. The main thing that this Vaporeon is for is that Azumarill. I can switch into it pretty well, and if it's a Belly Drum Azumarill, Haze. That's why I have my speed investment. I can outspeed a max speed adamant Azumarill. I can haze it before it gets off a Play Rough against me, and of course it can't Aqua Jet me because of the Water Absorb. So if he gets off a Belly Drum, I can sack something off, bring in my Vaporeon, and haze him before he attacks me. As long as he's not Jolly. That's the only way that plan fails, is if he's a Jolly Azumarill, not adamant. If he's Jolly, then I basically just lose, but that's not the point. We're not worrying about that right now. Yeah, basically that's what Vaporeon is there for. Come in, haze the Azumarill if it's a Belly Drum one, and then the threat's neutered. It's just lost 50% of its health like potentially popped its Citrus Berry for basically nothing. Would be the gain of that one. Then I have Wish to try and keep the team healthy, and the Vaporeon healthy as well, because it's going to need to switch into hits repeatedly. And then Scald and Ice Beam, a really nice coverage for his team actually. Allows me to not be set up fodder for basically anything apart from the Azumarill, but again the Azumarill can't really come in against me risking a Scald burn, so that's pretty nice. But it allows me to basically two-shot, do over 25% to basically everything else apart from the Umbreon. That's the only thing that I can't do over 25% to, so that's pretty damn decent. Unless it's a specially defensive Mega Latias, then I do less than 25% with Ice Beam, but if it's like max HP or if it's physically defensive, then an Ice Beam does over 25%, so that's pretty damn nice. So yeah, spread burns around with Scald, Ice Beam when I can't touch with Scald, and then haze away some setup. If it's a Carmine Mega Latias, want to be getting rid of those boosts. If it's Belly Drum Azumarill, get rid of those boosts. If it's Carmine Delphox for whatever reason, get rid of those boosts. You get the gist. If it's Curse Pass Umbreon, get rid of those boosts. You get the gist. So yeah, that is Finley the Vaporeon. Last but not least, last member on the team is Mixie the Yuxi, also holding the leftovers with Yawn, U-Turn, Stealth Rock, and Knockoff. Max HP, 136 in special defense, 124 in speed, with a careful nature. Now this is a similar idea on this Yuxi, and I believe it is enough speed to outspeed uninvested Megalatias. That's what it's for. It means I can outspeed an uninvested Megalatias, which might not seem that important, but it kind of is. It allows me to U-turn out on it before it hits me, keeping my Yuxi healthy. It allows me to Yawn the Megalatias before it can touch me, which is great. Allows me to set up my rocks against it. Allows me to knock off whatever wants to come in. It's actually pretty damn quick. Yuxi has base 95 speed, so I might actually be outspeeding quite a lot of his team with that little bit of speed investment. So it just allows me to get quick U-turns off and things like that against the likes of, like I said, Megalatias especially, allowing me to get that initiative out before it touches me, keeping my Yuxi healthy, and just allowing me to outspeed a lot of his other mons, and that I still have a lot of special bulk. Like, I could have put that 124 into defense and been bulky on both sides, but I felt like it was more important to have a bit of speed investment, potentially, you know, surprisingly outspeed a few things, while still being very, very bulky on the special side. This Yuxi shuts down quite a lot of his team on the special side. I'd use the term shuts down lightly, because obviously it doesn't have reliable recovery. Obviously can't do that much damage back to anything. But what it can do is it can yawn stuff, and that's great. It allows me to switch into Megalatias pretty freely. Allows me to switch into the Nidoqueen. I take less than half from a modest Life Orb Sheer Force Sludge Wave, I believe. I take less than half from the Nidoqueen. I take less than half from any hit from a Delphox. I believe, in fact, this special bulk that I have actually allows me to take, I think max roll is like 50.4% from a Specs Leaf Storm from a Rotom Cut, something like that. It's just really nice special bulk, because obviously Vaporeon is physical and it can take the physical hits from the likes of the Azumarill, the Durant if it's not set up, which is another thing I'm really scared of, by the way. The Primeape, the Rampardos, I can take hits from those guys fairly decently. Rampardos, not so much, but I can potentially one-shot it with a Scald, so I'm not too worried about that. Primeape, I can take hits, as long as it's not Defiant boosted, which hopefully it isn't. And yeah, Yuxi just shuts down the special offense, so the Megalatias, the Nidoqueen, the Rotom Cut, the Delphox. I can take hits from basically any of them with my Yuxi as well, and allows me to get some initiative around. I can switch into it, sponge a hit, U-turn out, go into something that's one of my threats on my side, and I do have quite a lot of threats to choose from. So that is my team that I'm bringing to Week 6 of the GPC, so I hope you guys like this team. I hope you guys are looking forward to the match, which should be up tomorrow if all goes well. So, if you are excited for the game, make sure to leave a like on the video, make sure to go down in the description, check out links to my opponent as well, and with that said guys, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you guys sometime soon. Toodaloo.